Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies, is the last prequel entry in this epic trilogy directed all by Peter Jackson, all in the build-up to the Fellowship of the Ring. This movie ties everything together, everything that we saw in the past two Hobbit movies, and it really nicely ties into the Fellowship of the Ring as well by the end. And this movie follows Thorin, played by Richard Armitage, who's sacrificing friendship and honor and seeking the Arkenstone, despite Smaug's fiery wrath and desperate attempts by the Hobbit Bilbo to make him see reason. And meanwhile, Sauron is sending legions of orcs in a sneak attack upon the Lonely Mountain. And as the fate of Middle-earth hangs in the balance, the races of men, elves, and dwarves must decide whether to unite and prevail, or all die. So I've been very mixed on this trilogy so far. An unexpected journey, massive disappointment, desolation of Smaug with such a humongous improvement. And there's things to enjoy about the Battle of the Five Armies. First of all, it really does feel like a Return of the Kings-esque finale. There's loads of action, it is very well paced, and it's also supremely well directed. Peter Jackson himself has proven through 5 movies up to this point that he is very good at directing action, and Battle of the Five Armies is just even more evidence of that brilliance. The acting in this movie is all really good. Martin Freeman as Bilbo is once again a fantastic leading character. Richard Armitage as Thorin is so good. He has proven to be my favorite character in this whole prequel trilogy, and his character's entire emotional arc is entirely satisfying. His relationship with Bilbo is very interesting. All these actors are great. Luke Evans is so good in this movie. Ian McKellen, what else is there really to say about him? He is brilliant as Gandalf. There are loads of flashes of technical brilliance in Battle of the Five Armies. It also kind of reveals its biggest downfall in that the script is kind of a mess. Look, I'm more so a casual fan of the Tolkien Middle-earth saga here. Lord of the Rings as a trilogy is definitely, technically speaking, one of the greatest movie trilogies of all time. I have a lot of friends who are Tolkien purists who hate Battle of the Five Armies. And honestly, looking at some of these story elements, I can kind of see why. Legolas is nowhere to be found in the novelization of The Hobbit anywhere. And although Orlando Bloom is a nice presence to have in the movies, like, I don't know, it's it's a fine line that I'm treading here. As much as I enjoy seeing him, I definitely get where people are coming from when they say, oh my god, his involvement just completely destroyed these movies. Basically because it's not true to the books. But if you really think about it, look at a show like The Walking Dead, just as an example. The comic books are iconic, and they are gruesome, and they are brutal. Every single character in The Walking Dead is so well realized. But then you go and watch the TV series. How true is the TV series to the comics, really? Daryl Dixon, nowhere to be found in the comics. Andrea dies in season 3, and she lasts so much longer in the comics. So me personally, I never really found a humongous issue with the facts that the Battle of the Five Armies isn't really true to the novel of The Hobbit. I can honestly sit here and say that I have fun watching it. The action in this movie is absolutely spectacular. The score for this, oh my god, Howard Shore is a freaking genius. And the Battle of the Five Armies is a movie that flies by. 2 hours and 24 minutes is easily the shortest in the entire Middle-earth saga. But that does lead me to one of my 2 biggest problems. This movie does feel incredibly rushed as a finale. They are trying to cram so much information and so much into this movie. Yes, there's no exposition to be found in here. This is the 3rd entry in a trilogy. They don't really have to set anything up. But with a short runtime like that, in a normal epic, this would be fine. But this is a Lord of the Rings movie first and foremost. On average, every entry in that original trilogy, 3 hours a pop. Desolation of Smaug even ran 241, so the fact that this final entry got 20 minutes shaved off of it, I don't know, left a little bit more to be desired. Some story elements just felt so incredibly rushed in here, and even though these sequences are really spectacular to look at, I really would have loved a lot more substance. Like with Smaug, for example. Oh my word. Oh my word, guys. You remember the last movie in the Hobbit trilogy? Left you with a big cliffhanger involving Smaug, right? Leaving the theater back in 2013, would you have expected the next year to return to the theater and see Smaug killed off within the first half an hour? Really sit down and be honest. You were not expecting a big character like that to be killed off like that, were you? Again, Tolkien purists might disagree with me, but the fact that the ending of the previous Hobbit film set up Smaug to be this big, gigantic Thanos-esque baddie. Like, be honest, you were expecting a lot more of him in Battle of the Five Armies. And yet here comes Sauron as the big baddie instead, which is fine. It almost screamed to me Rise of Skywalker when Palpatine came in, actually as the puppet master of everything going on. Yeah, you would have Snoke there, but yeah, he's killed off in The Last Jedi. But Snoke should have been that big baddie throughout the entire sequel Star Wars trilogy. Same sort of idea with the Hobbit trilogy. Smaug is such an interesting character. This is a dragon with an intricate vocabulary. He should have had a lot more screen time in this movie than he actually did. Even though his sequence is awesome and his death is so epic, it left so much more to be desired because he was killed off not even 30 minutes in. I don't know, guys. Battle of the Five Armies is definitely a well-made movie. It's supremely well directed. Peter Jackson himself is a genius, and he continues to prove that. The acting in this movie is brilliance from everybody. I just wish that as a finale, there was a lot more to be desired, and I wish that we could have a lot more time to really let everything sink in. By itself, though, I'm gonna give The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies, a B. I think looking back on the whole trilogy, this movie is better than An Unexpected Journey. Doesn't hold a candle to the desolation of Smaug, absolutely not. But as it is, as messy as it may be, it's still very, very enjoyable. But let me know what you guys thought of The Battle of the Five Armies down in the comment section below. What is your favorite Middle-earth movie out of all 6 that we've talked about? As always, guys, I love discussing all new things geeky in movies and entertainment and television and what have you. And if you're a new viewer, do consider smashing that subscribe button, hit that notification bell right next door. That way you don't miss a single second more of the action. And feel free to hit a thumbs up on your way out. Why not? Stay tuned for more exciting content hitting this channel very, very soon, my friends. I will be starting up the Rings of Power TV series, which is the reason why I reviewed all 6 preceding Middle-earth movies. So keep an eye out for that. I've got a lot of other TV to catch on. She-Hulk is up and running with Marvel Studios. We got Season 5 of Cobra Kai much earlier than any of us could have anticipated. And lots of other brand new releases coming to cinemas near you. Lots of stuff to look forward to, guys. Y'all are the best. Thank you all so very much again for your continuous support. And with all that being said, back talk, commence.